Expand your mind and enrich your world. It's time for another outstanding podcast from ICRT.
Hello and welcome to another Taiwan Talk podcast. I'm Keith Menconi. Taiwan is no stranger to rap, but today on the show we'll be speaking with a group that is helping to popularize one form of rap that they say hasn't really taken off quite yet, that being rap battles. That diss we just heard was delivered by an MC at an event right here in Taiwan, organized by Diss RBL. That's the Diss Rap Battle League. We're joined now by the league's founder, Dallas Waldie, and by one of the league's contenders, who's taken first in a freestyle rap competition, Jun Sheng. Thanks both of you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Keith.
谢谢。
So just so our listeners can have a better idea of what's going on at these events, could you explain this real quick? So this is a Mandarin league, so these are going to be Mandarin rap battles.
Yeah.
What are these dissers doing when they're at this event?
Well, I wouldn't really call them dissers. Supposedly, they're still rappers. It's a rap battle league, and what you're basically going to see, it's almost like a schoolyard fight, where you have like two guys just either on stage or in a pit. We've done it sometimes where the crowd will go around the outside, and then they just go back and forth, giving off like their lyrical, just like missiles kind of, they're like trying to shoot each other down. And although it is based on a form of dissing, the essence of it is to demonstrate your rap ability.
And at this particular kind of event, they're writing the lyrics ahead of time. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. They prepare the lyrics ahead of time. Whereas the wouldn't really say old-fashioned, but maybe about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the freestyle off-the-top thing was more popular. But ever since about 5-6 years ago when King of the Dot and Grind Time, some other foreign leagues came up, this new style of battling really took off.
So how are they going to be judged when at the end of the event there's a winner and there's a loser? How are they judged? What would be like a really good diss?
A really good diss basically is going to be something that's original. It should, you can go at it in different ways. You can be really witty and just make somebody look stupid, or you can just say something hilarious, or you can take it in an aggressive way. There's different type of manners. There's different ways to diss people and show off your skills. But so it all depends on the crowd personally. But when it comes down to the judging, what's important is your presence on stage. Do you look comfortable? Do you look professional? And did everything come out clean? Were you stumbling? Were you forgetting stuff? That's going to hurt you big time when it comes to judging.
So what made you interested in starting this kind of group in Taiwan, starting this kind of event?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm no stranger to this rap battle event overseas. I had participated 7 times in King of the Dots League, the Canadian one, the biggest one out there. And then when I came out here, I also spent a year in Shanghai as well. And I've always found myself just watching so much of it online, but not really being able to go out and do it anywhere. It just wasn't around out here. So, of course, what do you do when you don't have something? You just make it happen. So that's basically why I did it.
So there wasn't much of this going on before you started?
No, there was a little bit of freestyle battle going on. There's a league down in Taichung called Ziyou Zuichun, and we've worked together with them. But no, other than that, there's more and more battles popping up now, but we were the first and still are the biggest one to do these a cappella pre-written rap battles.
So would you say that it's gotten a bit more popular since you started? How has this been taking off?
Oh, it's good, yeah. I mean, the attention online just blew up way quicker than I expected, and now there are a lot more smaller battle events going on. We've been copied by high schools and like universities, people, using our name even, but they're just like small-time stuff, so we don't really get too pissed. We're actually pretty happy to just see people taking interest in it. But yeah, there's definitely been a noticeable increase in battle events since we started.
What do you think is behind that interest? Do you have any theories as to why this might have gotten as big as it has?
It's just like an entertaining performance. It's interactive with the crowd. It's fast paced. When you get two guys who really are well prepared and can really rap, it's like watching a sword fight or like watching a game of like one-on-one basketball or something. It's just more intense than the average performance where somebody's just gonna sing at you, maybe tell you to put your hands up or something. These guys are gonna really make you laugh. They're gonna really make you scream. They're gonna put a feeling inside you, and I think that's what the crowd loves about it.
Do you think that there's anything in these kind of performances that maybe people in Taiwan hadn't seen too much of before?
Before I started this, I had some friends who are also, quite deep in the hip hop circle in Taiwan, and they were telling me this might not be such a good idea because some of like the Lao Pigu, as they're called, or the Qianbei, like the guys who are, a bit higher up in the game, they don't really appreciate this dissing sort of format if it's just, people starting trouble, which I can understand. But the thing about rap battles is that you can step on stage and you can kind of like say things that you wouldn't normally say, but at the end of the day, you still respect the other guy, and they're going to shake hands and probably be better friends afterwards. So that's something that I think, people associate battling with, aggression and fighting and just beef in general. But the actual essence of it, when you make it a league, it's more about respect.
So we're also lucky enough to be joined today by one of the contenders, Jun Sheng. So I wanted to ask you, what do you get out of this event? Why do you think that this is something that's interesting?
就之前台湾没有这种类型的比赛，然后其实台湾私底下很多人都会
Before this event started, Taiwan didn't really have a stage for this kind of rapping. A lot of people were doing it themselves, but they had nowhere to perform. So this event was really fresh and innovative, and it's really made a lot of people want to try it out. It's a place to show off your talent and improve your skills and ability to get a crowd's attention.
So were there places to do rap battling before RBL was around?
我们可能就是平常出去吃个饭
So before the league started, we might go out to eat and drop a beat and start freestyle battling by the side of the road. But we wouldn't write its lyrics in advance the way we do at this competition. The way we do it now, we have more time to prepare and can better show off our skill when it's time for the competition.
So why dissing? Why is dissing in particular something that you're interested in?
就因为我会骂他，他也会骂我，就是
During the battles, there's distance going back and forth between the competitors, and I'm always curious to see what kind of disses my opponent's going to come up with for me. Whenever I land a funny diss and the audience starts cheering, I get a real sense of achievement. I really enjoy the feeling I get when I'm on stage, and just for the writing itself, I feel that the writing for the lyrics is very powerful.
So how do you think this all fits into Taiwanese culture? I mean, is this something that some people wouldn't accept?
算差别很大，因为台湾之前都觉得 diss 就是不好的。
This kind of event definitely clashes a lot with more traditional Taiwanese culture. In the past, Taiwanese people would view dissing as the bad thing. In a lot of people's mind, they see it as people attacking each other, or that it breaks the peace. And Taiwanese people really value social harmony. So with this kind of event, a lot of parents will ask why are their kids participating. They might be worried that the fight will break out during the event. My parents used to be worried about this as well. I've talked to them about it, and I think they understand better now.
So most of the people, basically all the people that are participating in this are local Taiwanese. You're from Canada yourself, is that right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have an outsider perspective when you come into this. What do you feel like your role is as the organizer of these events?
Well, as the founder and the organizer now, it's my job to help this thing build and get it as big as it possibly can be, but also keep the authenticity inside it as well. For example, there's been some people who have said, in Chinese they would say it's a little bit dichi, which is just sometimes the disses and some that can be too simple, or maybe it's just like, a little bit, it just sounds like kids kind of using nasty words back and forth, which at times I believe and I agree with. So I think, as for example, my role is to trying to let these kids know that it's more than, although this is a diss rap battle league, although it's called diss, it's actually a rap battle league. So you come to this stage and you're supposed to be rapping and you're supposed to be using the most complex bars that you possibly can, and really showing that, hey, I'm here, I'm a rapper, I'm not just like a little kid on the playground who knows how to call you names, So that's kind of one thing that I have to explain. And then whereas there's a lot of things going on overseas in terms of like tournaments, big battles, big name guys really supporting this. And it's important to let the world know, and Taipei know, Taiwan know, that this is not just like a little small thing, just a group of kids doing this anymore. Now there's like big people taking interest in this. For example, Eminem just threw a rap battle event where like Slaughterhouse, another huge crew in rap, one of their members battled one of the guys from URL, which is a big league in New York. So that's like a huge thing for like big stars to be battling guys in the rap battle circuit, which would never happen before. Because rap battle has always had a stigma that it is like kids, on the playground, kind of not taking it serious, right? But now these guys have really proved that they are actually the superior lyricists, and they actually put the big name guys on the fence, saying you cannot hang with us. Your raps are just corny and meant to sell records and go in a club. But if you actually go one-on-one with me with no music, we're gonna find out that your lyrics are actually just really junk. So that's what I hope I can do with the Taiwanese one, is where I can push them and be the best lyricist, not just, like I said, not just that kid in the park. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you is it sounds like you're kind of saying that around the world, this kind of event is sort of elevating a little bit, getting to be more of an art form than it was before. And it sounds like you're trying to make that happen in Taiwan as well.
Exactly, yeah.
In your experience, have you found any ways where some of the things that you think are like really important foundations of this kind of rap battle have been difficult to translate into Taiwan? Like there's certain just misunderstandings?
Well, I just feel like whenever you're doing anything, since it's new, you always have to explain everything to a T. Because there is tons and tons of questions, especially now that we have thousands of followers. You don't just get it from the performers, or you also get it from the audience members, and then other people, you might be working with your film crew, everything. So I just find you have to explain everything in detail, because to me, this is all I've been watching this for 6 years. I know what's going on. You just got to be here and film this way, and, you just have to rap this way. But no, you really got to explain everything. But not really because of a culture thing. It's just because it's new. Anything new, you just got to explain it.
So I want to throw this back to Jun Shen now. Who would you say is your biggest role model? Do you look up to foreign rappers more, or are the people you watch most closely more in Taiwan?
Taiwan 有一个人叫 BR.
Taiwan has a guy named BR. I really like how he writes his lyrics, and I admire how he prepares for this battle. For international performers, I've seen a lot of them. Their style of performing is really cool in a lot of the way Taiwan doesn't have yet. But we are learning from those performers and bring those style into Chinese language rap scene. For example, we have learned how to do some of the hand gesture foreign people do that get a good reaction from the audience.
So what do you think the difference is then? What do you think is the difference between what the local performers are doing and what you're seeing from international performers?
台湾现在比较多人是一句一句的那种。
The way Taiwan rappers perform, they just kind of do one line and then another. And a lot of them just have the same style, flows, and rhymes. International performers all put their special flair into their performances, so it's not all the same thing.
他们特别的一种个人的感觉，就是不会大家都一样。
So the Rap League, DIS RBL, has a national tournament coming up in October. Is this something that you're excited about?
因为 DIS RBL 现在已经办很多届了，然后现在
DIS RBL has already held several events before, but now they want to find the 8 best rappers and pick a champion. I think the 25,000 NT prize makes a really good opportunity. Like I said, there was no stage for this kind of stuff before. Now, with this competition, it will be something that everyone is paying attention to.
一定是大家都在关注的东西。
So as you've been organizing these events, have you noticed any difference in the way that a Taiwanese audience might react to these battles as opposed to audiences you've seen in other countries?
One thing I can say is they're definitely more supportive than what I've seen overseas. For example, some people overseas, if you're just rapping poorly and you're getting no reaction consistently, they will just boo you off the stage, and it can get pretty nasty, and that can really hurt somebody's confidence. Whereas over here, I've seen people, forgetting their lyrics, freezing up, and then all of a sudden their opponent will even be like, oh, make some noise for him, get him going. And then the whole crowd, they go wild for a couple seconds, give him that energy, give him that time to think, and then he'll come back right in and finish off the rest of his verse. I've seen that happen, and that's really nice. I like that about the crowd here in Taiwan.
So it's kind of friendly dissing in a way.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. They're it's still a respectful group of people, So and we try to keep it about respect, anyways. Although it is about getting a laugh off somebody, but at the end of the day, we do want to see the raps. We came to see the raps, So they want to help everybody out. It's nice right now. Maybe once they get a little bit more spoiled and everybody's doing well, maybe then they'll start booing people off the stage. But right now, because it's new and it's fresh, and a lot of people are forgetting lyrics, they're supportive.
So before we did the interview, I asked you to bring in one of your all-time favorite disses that you've heard during a battle. And so right now we're going to hear Hua Heshang taking down Alan Lin at a rap battle a while back. So let's listen to that real quick.
我想问的是，他刚刚歌词这样写，评审到底算不算犯规？因为4场 battle 比赛，他就公然对我赞美。他刚刚说我胖 ，OK， 其实我是真的不伤心，我不止胖，而且帅，一定被不用当兵。
All right, so the crowd went nuts there. Can you tell us, for those of our listeners who are not fluent in Mandarin, or at least not fluent in rapping Mandarin, could you tell us what was just said there?
All right, yeah. So actually, this is a beautiful diss on a number of different levels, and I'll break it down for you how I saw it. Basically, at the event, I was even going crazy. I was right there, just flipping out when I heard this. First of all, this is great because this is what we would call a rebuttal. It comes right at the beginning of the round, and you address what was said to you by your opponent. Whether or not this was off the top or written, I believe it was probably written just because it was so smooth. If it was really freestyle, then that's even better. More points, you know. But just the fact that he was able to predict what was going to be said to him and then turn it around. So anyways, here's how it goes. He basically just starts off by saying, hey, judges, isn't what he just said count as breaking the rules? This is obviously a battle, but he's openly praising me. So it's just kind of, but, you know, you're not exactly sure what's coming yet. And then he just says, he just said, I'm fat. Okay, but that doesn't hurt me at all because I'm not only fat, I'm also, you know, handsome. And then the punchline is just, Lin Bei Bu Yong Dang Bing, just the way that he says it, which means I don't have to do the military service because he's fat, right? So he turns his weak point, into a strong point, into an attacking point. And this is really like where a lot of people wouldn't think to do this because the best offense is a good defense, you know? So he basically just neutralized the other guy's whole round, which was just filled with fat jokes, in one little scheme. Turned that around and just fried him, you know? He took a different approach, whereas, you know, a lot of people are maybe just thinking aggressive, direct, you know, but where if you can be a little bit smarter with your punchlines, you know, when he adds a little Taiwanese in there, a little bit of flavor, the Lin Bei Bu Yong Dang Bing, just if you said Wo Bu Yong Dang Bing, it wouldn't have the same effect. So he had his style in there as well, and he just really broke him down. And then after that scheme, he was just wide open to go and just tear him apart for that whole second round. So that's why, on a number of different levels, that was a very potent scheme from Hua Heshang.
So basically what he's saying is, ha ha ha, fat jokes, whatever, but joke's on you, I don't have to go to the military, you're the sucker right now.
Exactly, yeah.
Why do you think that that's such a potent thing to say? Like, to me, like, it's hard for me to quite understand why that's like a jab, like, you have to go to the military. Try to bring us into that mentality a little bit.
Well, I think it's just like, because the military in Taiwan is something that no kid really looks forward to. It in a lot of people's minds, it's a waste of a year. You get out of your university or you get out of your high school and you got to go spend that time there. And there's been a number of different issues to do with the military and that, so it's not a very popular thing, let's just say. And so he was almost taking a stab as well at, you could almost say, like the political system, you know, just by saying, which is also what's great about Rap Battle 2, you can use this stage to kind of proliferate your views, or just get your views out there as well and get a laugh, and at the same time attack your opponent. So it was more, it had to do on a social level as well.
So this gets on touches on another interesting point, that the disses that are really going to land here are maybe a little bit different from the disses that are going to land in different countries here. Military is kind of a reference point that everybody gets.
Yeah.
What are some other things that people would incorporate in a diss that you might not hear somewhere else?
For example, I'm always hear kids bragging about the universities they go to. You know, if you go to Taida, you're the shit. If you go to Wenhua Daxue, you got some troubles, you know? And I've heard it being brought up in battles, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy, because whereas hip-hop normally is more like a street thing, so over in overseas, they'd be like making fun of you for going to a university.
You'd get
like
beat
that.
Down if you were bragging about that.
Pretty much, yeah. But over here, it's like a strong point, so I don't know, I've had some chuckles about that, but it is what it is, different cultures, different things. like especially because rounds 3 and 4, our third and fourth event, were right around the Fan Fu Mao business. So there was a lot of stuff going on with Ma Ying-jeou, the president, and just like the event and the rallies and stuff like that. So that's stuff that we would never get. But that's, you have to use local references, especially if you want to hit with the crowd.
So a second ago you were getting into this a little bit, but I want to punch this point a little bit harder. So you're saying basically that there's a little bit of Taiwanese peppered throughout this line, and you're saying that makes it a lot more potent, the way that he's using Taiwanese.
Yeah, I think so for sure, and just a little bit of first of all, it just makes it more local, so it's something that other people might not understand. But it also when he says it, because Linbei, although it technically it means me. But what it really means is your father. But when you say it like this, it gets translated to me. So it basically belittles you just by using that word. Although it has the meaning of I or me, it also belittles you at the same time. So, and the pronunciation just sounds wicked. You just you get, when that line came out, oh man, like, he just said it like, it was hilarious. Ah, man, I was cracking up because just a little flair like that. And at the beginning, he has some too, is like, just like, quiet down, wait a second, he just has a very local flavor. It just makes his personality that much more likable.
All right, so I have a feeling that I'm going to regret doing this, but I have invited a little bit of scorn on myself. Before we started, I asked Jun Sheng if he could prepare a diss for me. So we're about to hear his best takedown of your humble host right now. So what do you have in store for me?
我自己唱就好了。好，等一下哦。Yo， 今天这个外国人不像艾佛森，长得像泰国人。记好我的名字俊生，别想跟我竞争，别硬撑。早上我只能说你糊涂，绝对让你服输。他头发金色卷毛，好像一个玉鼠鼠。
All right, so for those of us who are not quite as fluent in Mandarin, help us out. How was I just taken down?
Well, at the start he says, yo, this foreigner, he's not like Iverson, meaning Allen Iverson. He looks like a Thai person. I'm not sure why you look like a Thai person, Keith, but hey, rhyme.
I've met some handsome Thai men. I can't complain.
And then he says, remember my name, Jun Sung. Don't compete with me. Don't stand off with me. If you find me, you're just going to end up confused. You're just going to lose horribly. And then look at your curly blonde hair. It looks like corn. Don't take me 100% for that, but that's basically what I'm getting out of it.
All right. Well, I feel taken down a peg. I definitely feel taken down a peg right now. Curly, I'm a
cornhead.
I'm a dumb cornhead right now. We've been speaking to DIS RBL founder Dallas Waldie and one of the league's contenders, Jun Sheng. Thanks both of you for coming by. I appreciate it a lot.
Hey, no problem. Thanks a lot for having us, Keith.
谢谢。
Make sure to check out their 8-man nationwide tournament coming up in October. Sign-ups end this month. Check out their Facebook to learn more. Thanks for listening to Taiwan Talk. As always, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's program. You can leave us a comment on our Facebook page or rate and review Taiwan Talk on iTunes. This helps us bring you the kind of shows you want to hear and makes it easier for other people to discover the program. That's it for today. For ICRT, I'm Keith Menconi.